Right now, your brain is running a simulation. It is replaying a conversation you had 3 days ago. It is also rehearsing another you have not had yet. It is calculating the 20 different ways tomorrow could go wrong, and somehow none of them feel unlikely. You are lying in bed at 1 a.m. in 2026, in the most advanced civilization that has ever existed, surrounded by every comfort your ancestors could never have imagined. And your brain will not stop. Here is the part nobody tells you. Your brain is not broken. It is working exactly the way it was designed. The problem is that it was designed 50,000 years ago, and it has not received a single update since. Your brain is a Paleolithic survival machine running in a world it was never built for. Think about what your ancestors actually faced. Every single day was a negotiation with death. The rustle in the tall grass might be the wind, or it might be the last thing you ever heard. The stranger approaching your camp might want to trade, or they might want your food, your fire, your life. There was no way to know. And so the brain that survived, the one that got passed down to you, was not the calm brain. It was not the relaxed brain. It was the brain that never stopped running worst-case scenarios. Psychologists call this negativity bias. The tendency of your mind to weight potential threats far more heavily than potential rewards. Dr. Rick Hanson, a neuropsychologist at the University of California, Berkeley, describes the human brain as being like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. The ancestor who ignored a potential threat and was wrong died. The ancestor who treated every shadow as a predator and was wrong just felt anxious for a few hours. Anxiety was cheap, being eaten was not. So your brain learned to overthink. It learned to ruminate. It learned that running every possible danger through the simulation, over and over, forward and backward from every angle, was the price of staying alive. And now you are paying that price for problems your ancestors never had. You are not being stalked by a lion. You are being stalked by an email. The same neurological machinery that once scanned the savannah for predators now scans your inbox for threats. The same system that once rehearsed how to escape a rival tribe now rehearses what you should have said in that meeting. Your threat detection system cannot tell the difference between a physical danger and a social one. To your brain, being publicly embarrassed carries the same emotional weight as being chased. Because for your ancestors, it almost did. Social rejection in a small tribal group did not just hurt your feelings. It could cost you food, protection, and survival. This is why your body reacts the way it does when your overthinking spirals. Your palms sweat. Your heart rate climbs. Your chest tightens. Your body is preparing to run or fight against a problem that has no body, no claws, no physical form. The stress response that floods your system was designed for short, violent emergencies. But the threats you face today are long, slow, and abstract. And so the alarm never fully switches off. Neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, whose research at Northeastern University has reshaped how scientists understand emotion, describes the brain not as a reactive organ, but as a predictive one. Your brain is not waiting for things to happen and then responding. It is constantly generating predictions about what is about to happen, running those predictions against incoming data, and updating its model of the world. Overthinking is your brain's prediction engine running hot, generating scenario after scenario because the situation feels unresolved, and unresolved situations were historically the most dangerous kind. Here is the counterintuitive part. The smarter you are, the more you overthink. A larger prefrontal cortex, the region that handles planning, language, abstract reasoning, gives you more capacity for complex thought, but it also gives you more capacity for complex worry. The same cognitive machinery that lets you plan 5 years into the future lets you catastrophize 5 years into the future. Intelligence and anxiety, it turns out, are two sides of the exact same coin. A study published in the journal Frontiers in the Evolutionary Neuroscience found that individuals with higher verbal intelligence were significantly more likely to experience rumination and chronic worry. The researchers proposed that the ability to imagine abstract futures evolved alongside the anxiety of not knowing which future would arrive. You did not get one without the other. So when your brain loops back to the same thought for the 7th time tonight, it is not failing you. It is trying to protect you. It is doing the one thing it was built to do. keep you alive. The tragedy is that the world changed faster than evolution could follow. And this brings us to now, because understanding why your brain overthinks is only half the story. The other half is learning how to work with a 50,000-year-old system inside a world it was not designed for. The first and most important shift is one of perspective. You cannot simply tell your brain to stop. You cannot willpower your way out of overthinking any more than you could willpower your way out of feeling hungry. The urge to ruminate is a biological drive, not a character flaw. When you understand that, something changes. The shame around overthinking starts to loosen, and shame, it turns out, is what keeps most people trapped in the spiral, the overthinking about the overthinking. The second shift is physical before it is mental. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist at Stanford University, has highlighted research showing that a physiological sigh, a double inhale through the nose followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth, is the fastest known way to manually downregulate your nervous system. One breath. That is the gap between your threat detection system and your rational mind. You cannot think your way out of a stress response, but you can breathe your way into the mental space where thinking is possible again. The third shift is named rumination versus reflection. Rumination is the loop. It revisits the same scene, the same fear, the same question, without moving anywhere. Reflection is directed. It asks, what is actually in my control here? What is the next concrete action I can take? Research by Dr. Susan Nolan Huxamer at Yale University, who spent decades studying the science of overthinking, showed that breaking the rumination cycle requires interrupting the loop with specificity. Not what if everything goes wrong, but what is one thing I can do tomorrow morning? Your brain evolved to solve specific physical problems. When you give it one, it calms down. The fourth shift is treating your nervous system like the biological system it is. Your brain overthinks more when you are sleep deprived, when your blood sugar is unstable, when you have not moved your body. These are not modern wellness myths, they are evolutionary facts. A tired, hungry, sedentary body is a body that believes it is under threat, because for most of human history, it would have been. Exercise is not just good for your body, it is one of the only proven ways to discharge the built-up stress hormones that keep your threat detection system misfiring. The fifth shift is perhaps the strangest one. You need to give your brain something more immediate to predict. Overthinking thrives in unstructured time, the wide-open, unresolved gaps where your prediction engine has nothing to anchor on. Structure is not a cage. For an organ designed to simulate futures, a clear schedule for the next 3 hours is a signal of safety. It is telling your brain, the situation is resolved, the simulation can rest. And here is where you arrive in 2026, having traced the signal all the way back to the source. You are not a person who overthinks because something is wrong with you. You are a person who overthinks because something went very right 50,000 years ago. And that careful, relentless, scenario-running mind kept your ancestors alive long enough to become you. The brain that will not stop at 2 in the morning is the same brain that built civilization. The same brain that looked at an uncertain world and refused to stop asking what comes next. You just have to remind it gently that tonight you are safe, and the rustle in the tall grass is only the wind.